Okay, continuing from the last video, we had a break and a cookie. So continuing from the last video, I put it over the first one, and then it comes between the other two. You can see that. Okay, so just make it clear. Okay. Right. So it's over one, the one that I marked, and then once I put it over that one, I bring it between the other two. There. Okay, so that's a good example. Okay, so I put it over that one, and it's between the other two. Now you got the visual. That should be better. It's between the other two now. Okay, so you got that. Right. So once I've done that, I then twist them. I put that on back, and then I put this line through. So I get the loop and I pull it out as far as I can, not too far, because you'll lose the working end. You have to have some working end there. Okay, so you pull it through enough so that there's a significant loop, and then once I've done that, I then start to re-secure my strands into the rope. Okay, so I now re-secure my strands. All right. So here we go. So I'm just twisting these strands and making the rope again, the rope shape. And you'll see as you twist them, don't just twist them, just like figure out, have the finesse to match them up nice and neatly. That's just the way it is. You have the patience to do this, just take your time. And you'll form the rope end. So I'll keep doing that. Okay, so as it's working, I'm making. Right, remember that the strands twist the other way, opposite way to what we're turning them to make the rope. So the rope is twisted in one direction, but the strands are twisted in the opposite direction. So once you've twisted the strands in one direction, you then wrap the strands together in the opposite direction to what they've been twisted. And that's what gives us our rope. So it's going very well here. It's going very nicely. If they start looking loose or anything, just retwist them. Okay. Alright. Okay. So just trying to make that tight, not too tight. Don't try to skip it, just try to twist them so they look like the rest of it and they look like they're original as much as you can. Okay. Remember, just being neat makes a huge difference. Alright. Just twist it, kind of twirl it like you would twirl hair. Ladies, you know this very well. Okay, okay, so it's twirled. Now, for this, I've done that. Now I've got the loop is in there. I want the loop to be coming out. And at the end of this, I should have, right, I've done something wrong here. Okay, so I'll undo that. As you can see, it's a lot of trial and error. And you're not expected to be perfect the first time. I've had a lot of experience already, and I still get it wrong sometimes. No one's perfect, and it's fine to make mistakes, just learn from them. So I've got the black tip one, remember that one? I put my loop over the black tip one. When I put it over though and pull it down to the bottom to where they're frayed, to where the strands are frayed, I make sure to, this is the part I think I forgot, I didn't extend it, and this working, the standing end, I didn't put through inside. So make sure the standing end is inside between these strands so that it locks inside. So the working and standing ends of the loop go inside. You need them both to be inside of that kind of intricate mess. And so that standing end I put through there. Okay. So I make it so that the strands are actually going to be going around the whole thing. There we go. Okay, that's better. So like I said before, remember the standing end and running end have to go between the other two strands, while the loop goes over the first strand, the marked strand. And by doing that, then we lift these up, one on one side, one on the other, and then pinching them together, we then start to twist. We then start to twist that into the rope shape that's meant to be. Okay, so that way, now it's all inside, okay, and it's in there, and the loop is protruding out from the side, but both working and standing in are going through the inner workings of the rope because of what I've just done. Now I twist and I make the rope again, the rope shape. It would be nice to learn how to make this fast forward for you guys, because while I do this stuff, it might be good to do some video editing where you fast forward to the good stuff. But for now, you guys just have to fast forward yourselves till I learn how to do that. And my brother, who has videos, he does videos called The Movie Buds. It's movie commentary. Check it out, guys. That's fun to watch in your downtime after work. It's really good. I know I've enjoyed it myself many times. Okay, so just going to twist these strands back into the rope shape that we all know and love. Okay, twisting it back. Alright, taking it easy, don't have to rush. And we'll just twist that strand if it does looking a bit too loose there. It's no problem. Nice and gentle. Easy does it. And it's good fun. So we kind of just keep twisting, make it as consistent as possible. Okay. As you can see, I'm kind of in my zone now. Just continually twisting it, trying to make it the right kind of consistency, make it balanced and equal as much as possible. Twist those strands as you go. It's always good. Just keep twisting. It's all good. Okay. Right, now when you've done a fair bit of it, you can relax and let it go. And then you'll get that loop. Okay. And what we do here, we want to get our standing end just like on our common whipping. Only this time we will twist that twining line up the rope that we've just retwisted back into shape. So you can just do this, twirl it with your fingers. That's enough. That'll work. Okay, because remember that once we have once we've whipped this, we'll cut the end, and you won't actually see the inner workings of this, and you'll only be left with the pre-twisted rope, which is a lot nicer looking, as it's been factory made. So I get that line, and So with that, I get the standing end, okay, and I start to wrap the twining around the rope upwards. That's it. So I just do that, just like our common whipping. I just wrap it neatly, as neat as possible. I do this, I kind of pull it out with my hand there, twist it, and then I'll hold that end, and then I'll get the standing end, and I'll start to wrap it around. Cut off the standing end off of my twining roll. And I have something to work with. So that's good. So now I can roll that up, twist that up. So I want to wrap that up. One thing I do is I twist this up, and then I secure it with some pliers. These are my fishing pliers. I'll just hold that there, pinch it, and by pinching it, kind of lock it into place. There's a lock here to secure. Lock it in. There we go. So that's locked into place. Now I holding, because that's holding the end of it. You see, it's quite tricky to do it. But if you just use a tool, use something to hold the end of it while you hold one end, so you can work with it. It's easy. So now, got that there, and all I do is just twist that twining around it as many times as it takes to make a neat whipping. And there we go. Just keep doing that until it's all done. Take a bit of time here. And just keep doing that until it's enough that I'm satisfied with. So remember, it's meant to be 3 times the thickness of the rope. The length of the whipping is to be 3 times the length of the rope. And don't do it too tight, because it'll look quite funny at the end. If you've done it too tight, it will look like a spaghetti tip. It's like really thin tip at the end. It's really strange. So you don't want to do it too tight. You just want to do it tight, not too tight, just right. Just use your common sense. Common sense does go a long way. And it's very satisfying when you see it all neatly done at the end. And you don't have to redo it. And it looks professional. It does look very professional, the end result, which is very nice. So remember, guys, I'm using macrame cord. It's not the professional marine grade rope that you would use. But it doesn't matter what you use, as long as you're doing it in the exact same way that you would on a boat or for whatever purpose you need. It's the skill here that counts. Especially for a beginner, it's the skill that counts, not the materials. material will come later when you're more experienced, and when the skill will do what you have to do with the expensive stuff without failing, because you've done it so many times practicing at home with things that are not expensive. It's not a problem. So once you get out there and you do it professionally, piece of cake, really easy. You'll do it nice and quick. You could almost do it blindfolded. You know exactly what needs to be done. You won't make mistakes, and it will be done perfectly. And you won't waste expensive material. So it doesn't matter what you use at home. It's about the skill acquired. And having fun while you're learning. It's fun to learn a new skill. It's all art that enters the mind. Anything that enters your mind is to your benefit. È tutto arte che entra. It's all art that enters. Old Italian proverb. Is it to say anything you learn is good for you? Whatever it is. It's true. Okay, so I'm nearly there, nearly at 3 times the thickness. Making it a little bit tighter than I normally would, but that's alright. Just as long as it doesn't look strange. It looks neat and uniform. That's the main idea. Just don't overdo it. Okay, so put another couple of wraps, and then I'll show you what to do with that loop at the bottom. Okay. Right, so tighten that now. So remember, you want it nice and compact. So at the end, I'm just compacting it together, so it's all uniform and neat. Again, emphasis on the neat and tidy. Yeah. Okay. So once I've done that, I've got the loop at the end. Okay. Now this loop at the bottom has to go back over the original strand that we put it around to begin with. So we unfurl or unravel these strands, and I get the one that I marked. There it is. With the one that I marked, just twist it to make it neat. The one that I marked is the one that I have to go over here. So I get it from the bottom, and then I go to that one. I pull that one through the loop of the twining line. Okay, and then that's where it goes. Okay, so it just goes over that. To tighten that, I then pull at the standing end. I just pull that gently. Don't do it too quickly or tight at the beginning. You want to be very slow and methodical so you know what's going on and what's happening to the rope. You observe what the line and what the rope does. So you get a good idea of what is happening, and then you can prevent mistakes. It's the same when you're actually on the boat sailing. So you've got that line. Now I pull that ever so gently. Okay, so I have control. I pull it gently, and as you can see, it's pulling that that strand down. So I pull that up now. Because I did it slowly, I stopped it from doing anything wrong. So I pull it up, and then again, because I pulled it up, I can now confidently pull nice and tight that and secure it there. Not too tight, just tight enough there. So that's what